Hi, I'm Wayne Hudson. We're coming to you today again from the campus of the Home of Grace in Van Cleve, Mississippi, and I have a very special guest today, Mr. Bill Brady. Bill, so glad to see you and glad you could come up and be a part of what we're doing here today.
Thanks for inviting me, Wayne.
You're welcome. I want to talk to you just a little bit about your involvement with Home of Grace and how you became, I guess you could say, a great friend of the ministry here at the Home of Grace.
I grew up here as a child in Van Cleve and went off to college, left the community, and actually went overseas. And then my family and I returned back to the U.S. And upon returning back to the U.S., I knew the Home of Grace was here, and I knew Billy Barton at the time was the director, and Billy and I had gone to high school together. And my wife and I wanted to get involved, in the community, and this was something, an organization that we felt, was deserving of that, because it's just such a great organization.
And it was close by too, right?
Oh yeah, it's just 5 minutes down the road. And so anyway, I approached Billy and told him, said, hey, if there's some things we can do, just let us know. And we did a few little things, okay, helping out with different events. And then after Billy stepped down as director, Josh Barton became the director, and Josh asked me, would I be on the board of directors? So I said, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'll do the best I can. Anyway, I told Josh, that I felt called to be here, and what I felt like the Lord was, wanting me to do was, if there was any small task here that nobody else wanted, that's the task I wanted. Just hey.
Give me an example, Bill.
As an example, there was a piece of equipment that was donated to the Home of Grace 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a large piece of equipment that involved. It was it was in Arkansas at the time, and it was being donated, and somehow it had to get from Arkansas to here. So Josh called me up. He knew I had a truck, and he said, "Hey, would you mind going and picking up this piece of equipment and bringing it down for us?" And he said, "We have a trailer." So so my wife and I said, "Sure." So we drove up to Arkansas and and drove back. That was just one way, and it was no big deal to me, but he said it helped them out a lot. Okay, having a person that was willing to do that. I've done a little bit of teaching here. Taught a couple of classes to some people who had actually graduated, and then they were in their second 3 months here. My wife and I have volunteered on doing some, just helping out with either here or at the women's home.
Now talk a little bit about that with the ladies' facility. What specifically did you do there?
3 years ago, Josh asked, was there any way that we could help with a Christmas party for the ladies at the Home of Grace there? So I told him, hey, let me talk to my wife. My wife loves to do things like that. So she got with Shelleen Barton, the director there, and came up with a Christmas party there. My wife is very good at recruiting other people to volunteer. So she started making...
In other words, she's a type A personality.
In some cases, things like that, things that, that she really loves, she does. And she's been out to the Home of Grace and taught some classes out there, but she just got her friends together and they put together a Christmas party, and we've done it every year since. So for the last 3 years, we've, done a Christmas party out there. Love it. The people who volunteer and participate actually get a bigger blessing than the people that are there. They, getting volunteers has never been a problem. Getting people to donate things has never been a problem. Whether it's food or crafts or anything like that. So yeah, she just, that's just one idea or just one way we were able to help. To us, we just enjoyed it. We just wanted to show the ladies how much people really love them. So it was good for us.
We can always find some things to spend our time on. But many times when we look back, a lot of that time has just been wasted on busy work and things that have not impacted others for Christ. And so the things that you've just given me, the illustrations you just gave me, it's a perfect example of how most anybody could get involved in the ministry of the Home of Grace.
Yes, sir. Some people think you need to have a special skill. I have a lot of friends that drive trailers. I mean, that's not a special skill as far as I'm concerned, but things like that, make a big difference here. Like you're saying, Wayne, you don't have to have a special degree. You don't have to be able to speak in public. There are a lot of, just like I said, little things here that it can be something as simple as, hey, so and so needs a ride from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And you've got a vehicle and you provide that ride.
Could be a court date or anything.
Anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I know that, of course, I have my ear to the ground, I guess you could say, out here at the Home of Grace, and I know that you and your family are highly thought of, and the things that you do here are appreciated, but I also know you well enough to know that that's not most important. What's most important is that the Lord is happy with it.
Yes, sir. One of the things that I talked with Josh about is that, when people ask, how this happened or who did what, it's a God thing.
Yeah.
We love the Lord. The Lord has provided just an abundance of things for myself and my family, and this is just one way to give back. And when I say give back, I'm not talking about a big monetary thing. I'm just talking about loving people, and nothing in return. Hey, you do this, and you just want people to understand that, hey, out of love, God provided a need, and that's what we try to do. Is we just try to do what God has told us to do, not what we want to do.
One of the reasons I keep showing up here at the Home of Grace is, of course, I want to do that which is pleasing to the Lord, but these men and ladies here are so grateful for the smallest act of kindness that we show, and interest and concern and compassion and all those things. And it's almost like we've done something phenomenal, and to us it's been almost nothing. And
agreed.
And they look at that like we have come to their rescue, and so I'm kind of addicted to this, and I just keep showing up.
Well, to me, Wayne, if somebody really wants to get just a small piece of what the Home of Grace is about, every Friday, you guys know that you have graduation here.
Yeah.
Hey, and it's open to anybody. You want to come see what happened, who people graduate. Graduation, if they just want to get just a little glimpse of what happens at the Home of Grace, if you have a Friday at lunchtime that you're looking for something to do, or hey, want to know a little bit more about the Home of Grace, just come up here for graduation. Hey, you can come by and get lunch, that you can, if you want to, or you can just come by and just watch the graduation, because it's genuine. It's not something that's rehearsed or fake, and it lets you understand what's happening here on a day-to-day basis.
That is a great illustration, and you're right. It's very emotional too.
Yes, it is.
To see 4, 5, 6 people whose lives has been drastically transformed by the power of Christ, and they have many who have come to Christ, and they've been born again as a result of their time here at the Home of Grace.
Agreed.
And now all of a sudden they have hope. For the first time, maybe in a long time, they have hope of a new life.
Yeah, and one of the things that has really my wife and I have seen is it's not just the people who come to the Home of Grace; it's their families too. I mean, when you see like I mentioned the Christmas party, you see people who come in and they see whether it's the man or the woman, boy or girl that is here, and how much they've changed. The people just kind of like they light up, because it's something that they haven't seen in a long time. And so, they're grateful for what the Home of Grace is doing. And so you touch the whole family, and for you to be a part of that in any way, in any little way, it just, like I said, the people that this last year, I know my wife got feedback from a lot of different people that said, hey, next year we want to be on the list to help out again. And it's because they just, they feel a blessing. They just feel they get more, like I said earlier, they get more out of it than the people that are there at the Home of Grace. I mean, to them, it's just wonderful to see the Lord at work.
One of the things that I was hoping that we could accomplish today as a result of this interview was to encourage other people to do what I call crawling out of themselves and crawling into the life of someone who desperately needs an ally or friend or someone to come alongside of them, and just tell them that everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. All you have to do is follow Jesus and faithfully show up and do those things that are needful to contribute to the success in your life, and the Lord will take care of the rest. That's Matthew 6:33, by the way. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and then all these things will be added unto you.
Agreed. Well, Wayne, like we mentioned earlier, you don't have to have a special skill to participate, and there's a lot of little bitty things that people, the Home of Grace, they'll put out a list of things, for instance, things they need. And you can, whether it's a donation of of some monetary donation, whether it's a donation of something you have extra in your house, and hey, you want to go to the Home of Grace and contribute, or whether, like you said, it's just a donation of time, where you just come in and you tell somebody. I know I'm on the prayer list that Clay Barton puts out every week. He sends a name of someone here and where they are in their, as far as their, whether they've been here a week or a month, and ask you to pray for them each day. Just a name of somebody. We know that prayer can take care of everything.
Yeah.
It is a powerful tool. So something that simple, hey, add me to the prayer list. I'm a prayer warrior. Those are things that the Home of Grace needs to, for that support, to help.
Even a person who's homebound, they can't get out, they can't do anything, they can't drive that trailer to Arkansas to bring back a piece of equipment, they can pray.
Agreed, and that's what I said. Even something that small makes a huge difference here. So.
Bill, I want to thank you so much for coming out today. It's been an incredible pleasure, and I know that the people back home have gleaned something from this that will inspire them, hopefully, to be a part of what we do here at the Home of Grace.
Excellent.
I love you in the Lord. You're my friend, and I appreciate all that you do for the Home of Grace.
Thank you very much, Wayne. I'm glad you asked me.
God bless you. And folks back home, thank you for joining us today here at A Cup of Grace on the campus of the Home of Grace. And we'll see you next time.